Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I am a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader, and today I am so excited to be bringing you a very special reading all about you are being called to shine, your Lionsgate rebirth. So if you are new to the energies of Lionsgate, essentially this is a very powerful portal which is activated by the rising of the star Sirius, which is essentially like our spiritual sun. It's considered the spiritual sun. So the rising and the return of Sirius, which happens around the middle of, or sort of late July essentially, until the middle of August. This creates a powerful portal because Sirius is considered, or was seen by ancient astrologers, as the rebirth of our spirit energy and the spirit energy of the planet. So when this star is rising, essentially what that does is creates a portal. It creates a sort of energetic holding space for us to activate to the peak of our own energy. It helps us rebirth into the strength of our soul. It helps us, it sends us a lot of like high frequency energy, which helps us to open our energy centers. You might find that you are very inspired with a lot of new ideas around this time. It helps raise your consciousness. For those of you that may be very open spiritually, and you might receive a lot of psychic downloads, spiritual downloads, things like that. Crown chakra openings can often be something that is highlighted over this time. So it's a very, very powerful portal, and it often will create a point in the year where you can essentially rebirth. So it's almost like a spiritual new year. So it's a really powerful time to set intentions. It's a powerful time to get really clear on your purpose, on your soul's purpose, and where you're wanting to go next. So we have got 3 piles to choose from today. Now, just to quickly let you know, in case you are a returning viewer, I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I haven't actually pre-pulled any of your cards whatsoever. So I'm going to shuffle your cards live on camera after this point. So if you want to watch the card preparation, there'll be a timestamp in the description box below where you can watch that along with me. And as I'm shuffling the cards, you can essentially connect with the energy of the cards, and it will just help me as I'm shuffling to get the right messages for you. If you just want to skip straight to your message, the timestamps for each of the 3 piles will be in the message box below. So by no means do you have to watch the preparation of the piles. It's just for those of you who want to. I felt like doing something a little bit different today and including that part in. So to introduce each of the piles, we have got for pile number 1, the beautiful goddess Nike with Triumph, Mastery, and Pride. Okay, so you'll be pile number 1. The timestamp will be in the description box below. And if you like to choose with crystals, for pile 1, we have the citrine point. Okay. If you are drawn to the beautiful goddess Amaterasu, card number 27 with the sun, good fortune, and happiness, you'll be pile number 2, and the crystal for your pile is this beautiful sunstone. Okay, and if you are drawn to card number 16 with Sekhmet with strength and self-awareness, you will be pile number 3, and the crystal for your pile is the tiger's eye tumblestone here. Okay, my loves, so pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose which pile is most drawing you in. Now, if you are drawn to more than one pile, trust your intuition. It may well be that there are messages from across the piles that you need to draw on to create your reading today. Only overtake what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your piles. Welcome back. Welcome to the preparation of the piles for each of the 3 readings. If you're wanting to just skip straight to the reading, just look at the timestamp for each of the particular piles in the description box below. Otherwise, welcome if you are here to watch the preparation of the piles. So let's start off with, we've got the Wild Woman Oracle here. So I've already pre-shuffled the cards, so I'm going to get straight into picking a card for each of the piles. So can we have a card, please, Spirit, for pile 1? We have a card for pile 1. We have a Wild Woman Oracle card for pile 1. Okay. Pile 2. Woo. think that is pile 2 and pile 3. So pile 2 and pile 3. Let's move on to the Believe in Your Own Magic deck. So, Spirit, can we have a card for pile 1? One card for pile 1. Okay. And we have a card for pile 2. Woo! And can we have a card for pile 3? Okay, these ones are flying out today. The energy is really powerful and very fast moving at the moment, so it's not surprising me. So actually we're going to start with this card, so I'm just going to move these around. Okie dokie, let's go on to the energy oracle. So pile number 1. Pile number 1. Whoop. Sneak preview there. Pile 1. Pile number 2. We have an energy oracle card for Spirit for pile 2. Okay. Pile 3. Going on the floor 1 second. That flew out. Okay. Alrighty ho, they're really flying out today. The energy is very fast moving. I'm loving this. Okay, so let's get a Sacred Destiny card for pile 1. Sacred Destiny card for pile 1. Whoop. Oh, sneak preview. You got to see what that card was. Okay, pile 2. Can we have a card for pile 2, please, Spirit? And Sacred Destiny card. Whoop. You also got a little sneak preview there. Okay, and pile 3. We get a Sacred Destiny card for pile 3. Okay. Alrighty. And let's see, what have we got next? We've got the Rose Oracle. Okay. And we have a Rose Oracle card for pile 1. Rose Oracle card for pile 1. Whoa! I think we want 2. And pile 1 got 2. Let's see. Okay. Sacred Rose Oracle for pile 2. Beautiful. And finally, Rose Oracle card for pile 3. The Rose Oracle card for pile 3. Got a bit of a sneak preview of that one. Alrighty, that is all the Oracle cards. Let's move on to the Tarot. Okay, so for pile number 1, I've chosen the Goddess Tarot by Chris Walder. I just had to think about it for a second because I have so many Goddess decks. Woo! Oh my goodness. That was that one. Okay, 1 second. Your cards have dropped all over the floor. Okay, I've got them back now. Right. Pile number 1. We have a tarot card for pile 1. That one. Okay. Pile 1. That one. And one more. Okay. It's pile 1. Pile 2, we have got the Everyday Witch Tarot. So pile 2. Pile 2. Whoa. Okay, flying out. Pile 2. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. They are so fast moving today. I'm loving this. Okay, and pile 3, we have got the Crystal Magic Tarot. Okie dokie. Pile 3. How is pile 3? Being called to shine. How is pile 3 being called to shine? Woo. Woo. And one more. Okay, so, and then I've also got the Spirit Junkie cards, but I'm going to shuffle those live on camera at the very end of the reading, so I'll come back to those. So alrighty. Thank you for joining me and supporting this process and sending your energy. I felt like I could feel all of your souls and your spirit guides here very strongly whilst doing this process. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you for joining in with that. And your timestamps will be in the description box below. As I mentioned, I'll see you in your reading. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading on You Are Being Called to Shine Your Lionsgate Portal. Okay, so we've got Goddess Nike with Triumph, Mastery, and Pride, and we've got the citrine crystal for you. So right off the bat, I feel like one thing that is going to occur as a result of this rebirth through this portal is you coming to a point of mastering something and becoming very successful in something, feeling very proud of yourself for some sort of achievement, having a sense of triumph over some kind of obstacles, feeling really strong, empowered, like, yes, I have got this. I am successful. I am succeeding. I feel like you're really going to be a lot more empowered to shine your light. We've got this huge sun behind Goddess Nike, so very appropriate goddess for this Leo Lionsgate portal, because it feels like you're going to be coming into a point where you're very comfortable to shine your light. You're very comfortable to put yourself out there in some way, or to kind of feel worthy and deserving of success on your own terms, and success being who you really are, like shining your true light, being comfortable and confident in your own skin. It's a lot of like solar plexus activation that may be happening for you at the moment, or may have been happening in the lead up to the Lionsgate portal energy. So some of you may have been having some gut issues or things like that, because sometimes when a certain chakra is being worked on, and one of the things that can happen during a portal time is that a lot of your chakras can start to become activated. So if there's any energy that's stored in that chakra that needs to be cleared out, sometimes that can start to happen. So some of you might have had a little bit of issues with some gut things, or around your stomach area or abdomen area or something like that. Or you may find over this period that part of your body, or that chakra, that energy center, starts to wake up a little bit, starts to feel a bit more activated. You might find that, say, for example, if you did a chakra meditation, you might find that where previously you might have struggled to like really connect with your solar plexus chakra, or connect with like the color yellow, or that sort of sense of like inner light, inner sun, inner strength within your solar plexus, you might now find as a result of the portal that is very active, very bright. One thing that can really help you is the crystal citrine. It's a perfect crystal for the solar plexus. So if you are wanting some support with connecting with your inner light and opening up your solar plexus so that you can feel comfortable and confident shining your true self, shining your inner light, feeling comfortable being in the limelight in some way, or putting yourself out there in some way, being successful in some way, citrine is a really good crystal for success. So let's take a look at your other card. So we're going to leave, let's see, we're going to leave Nike over here. Okay, let's have a look. Leave your little crystal up here. So we have got, what do we get? Witch of the Winter Woods with healing. Yeah, so I feel like this is what I was saying about healing your solar plexus. So some of you may have been consciously doing this, or some of you may have very proactively been doing this as because you've got a very strong intention of something you want to be successful in, something that you want to master, something that you want to feel proud of yourself about. So you may have been taking your own healing in your own hands. I feel like with this witch in the woods here, she's out in the woods, she's got a book, she's like, brewing up some kind of concoction here, some kind of herbal concoction maybe, or something like that. So some of you might well be, doing like taking proactive measures in order to activate your solar plexus chakra, or to kind of heal certain things that may have been holding you back from really shining your inner light. So let's take a look at the other cards. We have got, oh my goodness, Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. Oh, I love this for you. This is perfect for Lion's Gate energy, actually, to actually get the Lioness card. It's like, yeah, you're really waking up that lion energy. You're really waking up the energy of like feeling comfortable and confident in your own skin. I feel like, yeah, with that like triumph, pride, mastery, you've earned all your stripes. You've been working hard at something. You've been trying to master something. You've been working hard on your healing. I feel like you've been taking a lot of that into your own hands. Maybe there's a certain skill that you've been trying to progress, trying to perfect. Some of you might be studying with the reading the books here, and you've been really working towards something. With this mermaid as well, I kind of feel like one of the things that you've definitely been working on is like healing your emotions. Sort of you've already plunged to the depths of like your emotional self. You've done a lot of clearing and healing, which is why I feel like it's kind of saying like you've earned all your stripes. You've earned this triumph now, this success now, because you've done the hard work, you've done the deep dive, you've gone through and done that like purging and releasing and healing and sort of understanding your emotions, going right to the bottom of the ocean and kind of like finding the treasure that exists within, maybe certain kind of emotional setbacks or things that have happened in your past. It's like, I feel like with that mermaid receding, it's kind of in the background. It's like, that's in your past, like all that deep diving that you did. It's like you've done that now, you've done your healing work, and now you've earned all your stripes. Like you've earned this success, you've earned this triumph. You are going to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do. Let's have a look at the other energy we've got. So next we have beautiful card number 12 of the Temple Path. Yeah. So I feel like for many of you, you may well be some sort of spiritual healer. The skill that you've been trying to master could have been something along the lines of walking the temple path. So, that can look like doing something like this, like tarot reading, doing some form of divination. It can be being some sort of spiritual guide or emotional healer. It can be holding space for people. If you think of the temple, it's like creating a beautiful, safe sanctuary for people to be able to come and receive some kind of healing, some kind of support, some kind of nurturance. So that could look like, you're wanting to start some kind of little retreats or something. I don't know why I said little. I don't feel like they are necessarily going to be little. It might be that you started out small and it's something that you're growing, but I do feel like you are on this path, on this spiritual path to eventually help be able to heal others in some way. And it may look very different for all of you. Like I said, some of you, it could be something like tarot. Some of you, it could be like herbal healing, as we saw with this healing card with the Witch, the Winter Woods. It could be like, you could be a herbalist or something, or a homeopath, or, make some kind of like, holistic food, something along those lines, and you bring people to your home, or you run retreats or something, or you work on retreats and people come to this like sanctuary or this center, and you're able to help, give them support, give them guidance, give them healing in whichever form that you do that. But I feel like whichever path that is for you, it's a very spiritual path with the number 12. It just number 12 is a very spiritual number in the sense that if you think of, we have 12 signs of the zodiac. There in fullness there are 12 chakras. Usually there's 7 main ones that we talk about, but in fact there are others as well that go all the way up to like soul star and so on. So 12 is a very spiritual number, and I'm just noticing actually we've got 12 and 13, which is sort of a progression. So there's this sense of like your energy evolving, developing, upgrading. So there's definitely some kind of shift, some kind of rebirth, some kind of upgrade that feels like once you go through this portal of energy, you are going to be aligned to walk this path, to really come out into the light and shine your light and be some form of healer, or provide some sort of sanctuary for people or something along those lines. Let's have a look at your other card. So we have got, abundance. Oh, I love this for you, pile number 1. This is exciting. Yeah, I feel like this path is going to bring you a lot of abundance. So if you felt a bit hesitant about doing this because you feel like, oh, well, I would love to like run retreats, or oh, I would love to be a healer, or I would love to do like holistic things, or I'd love to do tarot readings, or whatever it is, but you don't feel like it's going to be something that's going to give you the support, say financially, that you need. I feel like this card is saying like, yes, if you walk this path, if you honor this gift, this skill that you have in healing, like you've earned your stripes now. Like you have done the work to, like, I'm kind of hearing like that Chiron wounded healer. It's like you went through the wound, you went through the healing, and now you're the healer. It's like you had to go through that. You had to learn the medicine. You had to kind of undertake that training kind of thing to master something so that you could walk this path. And it may well have been a very challenging path. Usually the temple path is quite a challenging path. You know, it requires many cycles of healing. Like I said, with that mermaid, it's like you've had to kind of really do a deep dive and heal a lot of like generational trauma is what I'm hearing specifically. So there may well have been layers and layers and layers of things that you've had to heal, but now you're on this path, and it is going to be something that once you work out exactly how you want to express this particular, you know, or whichever modality you're meant to work in along this temple path, it is going to bring you a lot of abundance. You are going to be very like financially successful, or very secure, very grounded. It's going to bring you like abundance in all ways. It's not just financial is what I'm hearing. It's like it will bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, success, status, even though I don't really feel like that's something you're particularly looking for, but you know, just sort of recognition, an abundance of like support, recognition, success, triumph, you know, being really sort of well regarded by, like, you know, whether it's members of the public or your colleagues or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, you've earned your stripes now, you've done the hard work, like now is the time to reap the rewards and harvest that abundance that is owed to you. Then we got 2 Rose Oracle cards for you. So we've got Trust the Seasons, Embracing Change, Cycles of Life, Transition, and Growth. Yeah, so I feel like you have been definitely going through, like I said, with the cycles of healing, you've been going through it with a lot of cycles of life, a lot of cycles of healing, a lot of transitions. You may well be transitioning from like maidenhood to motherhood. That doesn't just like directly mean, oh, you're going to have a child. It may be, if that's something you want, but it's more like a life stage in the sense that you're coming into kind of a form of mastery. Like you're going from a stage of being like the innocent maiden into like the motherhood, or you're going from motherhood to cronehood, where you've really harnessed all that wisdom from all those years of being alive on the planet, right? And going through all those cycles of healing, you know, being on this temple path, on that sort of labyrinth path, and then, you know, growing through all of that. And so I feel like you're coming into this like the fullest of your expression kind of thing is what I'm hearing. And then we have the sacred waters: nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Beautiful. Yeah, I feel like this is something that you've had to learn how to do whilst on this healing path, whilst doing your healing. You've had to learn how to nourish yourself. You've had to, there's a lot of like watery energy here with both the lioness, this lioness card with, you know, her sitting on the beach with the sea and the mermaid. And then we've got a lot of, you know, sacred waters here. So again, I feel like you've done a lot of being in that watery energy and like taking the nourishment that you've needed from kind of purging, from going into those watery depths and like understanding your emotions. So I see that maybe some of you might have gone through therapy or something, possibly recently or in the past, or maybe some of you are training in a certain therapeutic modality or something like that, like where you can really understand that water element, or really like help other people navigate the sacred waters, right? Like help them navigate how to heal their emotional selves, how to heal their emotional body, possibly inner child healing work, that kind of thing. So for some of you, it's very spiritual. On the other side, I'm getting some of you who may be doing, like I spoke about earlier, with the holistic food or cooking, or like, providing sort of a retreat space for people, or, something slightly more physical, like providing physical nourishment, like, sort of holistic foods, or homeopathic or herbal medicine, or something like that, sort of nourishment and health through something more physical, like actually healing the body, or possibly doing a lot of like self-care rituals. And then maybe you're creating a platform where you're going to share some of those self-care rituals with others, so other people can learn from you. They can learn all the sort of tools and tips and tricks that you've learned along the way on your spiritual journey, on your temple path, and then they can apply that to their own lives to help and support their process. So I feel like this is something you've been working on and mastering for quite a while, and you're now going through a rebirth where you're going to be very successful in it, and you're going to move into a stage of essentially like growing this, whichever level you're at. And I'm kind of seeing a spectrum. So some of you might be sort of newer to this, and some of you might have been on this path for a while, but whichever stage you're at, you're going to the next stage of growth. So say if you've been in that kind of maiden stage where you've just been sort of figuring this all out on your own, you might now be getting to a point where you're like, okay, I want to really, step into my power with this. I want to, birth a business around this, or I want to birth a platform, or I want to formalize my training in this kind of thing. And you're going to move to that stage. For others of you, it might be that you've been in that already, and you're moving towards more that sort of crone phase, or that like next level up of mastery. Like, for example, you're becoming the teacher of the teachers, right? Like, you've already been training in this. You might have you've already got your qualifications or something, and now you're passing that wisdom on to the next generation or something like that. It's like there's like a leveling up. There's like an upgrade, a higher level of mastery, a shift or a transition or a growth to the next stage in this temple path, in whichever kind of modality it is that you're doing. And whichever that is, it's definitely going to bring you in a lot of abundance, I feel like. So let's have a look at your tarot now. So we have got, just move these down a little bit. Okay. So first up, we have wisdom, beautiful, with Saraswati. Yeah, so Saraswati is the Hindu goddess of the arts, self-expression, speaking, singing, just essentially any kind of authentic self-expression. So I feel like you're coming to a point of mastery with that goddess Nike in how you express your wisdom in whichever field that is. Like I said, it'll be different for all of you, but I feel like you're all on some sort of a healing path or some sort of a temple path. So something spiritual or something very like related to, say, holistic health, or giving guidance in some way. It's like you're very wise, you have a lot of wisdom within you, and now is the time to power that up and share it with the world in some way. So that'll be different for all of you, how you do that. Maybe for some of you this could involve music. It could be like you could do very like beautiful, like you could play music, very spiritual music or something, or you could sing, and you share like the wisdom of, this is very specific, but I'm hearing something like the wisdom of native tribes. So maybe like I'm picking up something like Aboriginal music. That's very specific. That could be for one person. Comment below if you feel comfortable sharing, say that, oh yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm doing. Or maybe it's like I'm also hearing like Peruvian music or something. So some kind of native thing. But if it's not music, it's just more generally feeling confident to share the wisdom that you have gained on this healing path. So really, really beautiful there. Then we've got Prince of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this connects with this abundance card. So you are definitely going to move into a stage now where you are going to start taking the steps to call in your abundance, or taking steps towards receiving abundance for sharing this wisdom. Or I feel like this is kind of the energy of the universe, actually. Like the universe is this Prince of Pentacles coming forward with this pentacle, which is linked with money, abundance, finances, support, stability, all that good stuff, you know. So the universe is bringing forward abundance for you. The more you step onto this path, the more you share your wisdom, the more you put your voice out there and express your true self. It's like you've earned this, right? You've earned your stripes. You've earned this support, this abundance, this money. So maybe for some of you, this could be an offer coming in. Like maybe you might get, you know, someone might see your platform or something and be like, hey, we want to sponsor you, or we want to bring you on board to run a retreat with us, or we want to, you know, we've got a whole bunch of clients, or can you come and do a talk at this corporate retreat or something. I'm kind of getting something like that. You know, princes or the page energy can be something around receiving like a message as well. So you may well receive some kind of communication or a message from another person in regard to how you could reap abundance for sharing your wisdom, how you can make money, or you know, or if it's not directly money, it will lead to opportunities that allow you to create some security and stability for yourself. But I do feel like for many of you, this is financial. I am kind of getting like, you know, an offer of like, you know, I'm kind of seeing coin here, you know, like if you come on board with us, like we're going to give you like, you know, XYZ. It may be initially that you do it as an exchange, or you do it for perks or something. But I feel like, you know, whichever stage you're at, maybe you've been doing that for a while, and your next sort of cycle, your next stage of growth is to go, okay, I'm not doing exchanges anymore. Now I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to charge my worth. I'm going to say what, you know, what my figure is and receive that, you know. Or say you've been charging for a little while, but a very small amount because you've been in training or something, or you've been feeling like, oh yeah, I'm kind of just new to this, or I'm just like, I'm in the stage of trying to master this and I'm still learning about healing, or I'm still on my training course. And now the universe is saying like, no, come on, like move to the next stage now. Like you've mastered this, you've earned your stripes, you've done the hard work. Now is the time to level up. Now is the time to say, this is what I'm worth. Like I'm going to charge this. So whichever stage you're at, it's like there's a level up. Let's see what we have next. We have got the Queen of Pentacles. I don't take reversals, by the way, unless I'm guided to. So in this case, I feel like this wants to come up. And this is confirming exactly what, I'm getting chills. This is confirming exactly what I was saying about the leveling up. I feel like you're leveling up from the Prince of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. So for some of you, you're going into Prince of Pentacles energy because, like I said, you might be very new to this path. You might be very new to charging or to, you know, putting this work out there and receiving financial reimbursement for it. For others of you, you have been doing this for a little while, but you've been in the page energy. So you've been in a sort of more junior energy with this, or a more like starting out energy, or you know, you've been working on your craft for a while, sort of thing. You've been, you know, we've got two cards here where figures are reading books. So I feel like you've really been studying hard. You've really been working hard. You've been putting in the hard work, and now you're leveling up from Page of Pentacles, where you're figuring all this stuff out, and you're maybe figuring out business, or you're figuring out how you can charge for this wisdom or something. And now it's like, you know, come on, level up, go from the maiden to the queen, or the queen to the crone or something. You know, it's like the next stage. You're the Queen of Pentacles now. Like it's time for harvest. It's time to harvest this abundance that is owed to you, because you have earned this, right? Like it said on this card, you have earned this. You've done the hard work. You have earned these stripes. You've earned this energy from all the wisdom that you've gained, both from this lifetime and previous lifetimes, because I feel like you're a very old soul and you have a lot of wisdom that you've brought in with you in this lifetime. So yeah, I feel like you can harvest that now. You can harvest that wisdom. You can turn, I'm hearing like you can turn that to gold, all those experiences, all that emotional training that you went through, all the cycles and cycles and cycles of like purging and releasing and healing and understanding and all of that, or all the cycles of like physical health healing that you've had to go through. It's like you've gained so much wisdom from that. Now is the time to share it. Now is the time to level up from whether it's not earning anything from it to starting to earn, or whether it's from earning a tiny bit or just doing things by exchange to leveling up and saying, nope, this is what I'm worth. This is what I deserve. I deserve to have this abundance now. You know, I'm going to call that in. And finally, we have, oh my goodness, I love this for you. Ace of Wands, Ace of Staves is Ace of Wands. This is amazing. Brand new beginning. This is perfect card to get for a rebirth reading, because it's, yeah, you're rebirthing into this new energy. We've got this huge sun behind, and I feel like this project or this work or this path or this modality that you've been learning, it's like once you really plant that in the ground, it's like it's going to really bud for you. You're going to get all this abundance. You know, we've got a lot of sort of garden imagery here with the temple path here, with all this greenery, and then with the abundance we've got all these flowers, and then with this Ace of Wands we've got this wand that is planted in the ground and it's starting to sprout little shoots. So this is going to lead to growth. This is going to lead to a lot of abundance in whichever way that is. And you know, like abundance is different for everyone. For some of you it's like, oh, I want to be, it might be I want to be really financially well off, and to the point that you have like, you know, generational wealth that you can pass down, and you've got like investments and the whole 9 yards, you know. That's very much that Queen of Pentacles energy, is like, you know what, I can take care of myself, I can take care of my family, I can take care of like, you know, my children's children kind of thing. It's like, you know, you're very supported by the universe, you're very you know, like you're good for life kind of thing. Like you're set for life is kind of what I'm getting. But for others of you, that might not be something you're really interested in. It might be more like, you know, you just want, you know, maybe to sort of go from being in survival mode to just being comfortable and just having enough, and like, you know, not having to worry too much. And then, you know, being able to, you know, buy a few nice things, but like you're not so interested in loads of financial excess wealth or anything, but you just want to feel secure. You just want to not have to worry about your rent, right? Or something like that. And I feel like, so whatever the abundance is for you, you know, if sort of financial abundance isn't something that really kind of turns you on or something you're really looking for, then it's whatever abundance means to you. It's whatever growth and like, you know, creating a beautiful life and creating the kind of lifestyle that you really want. You know, for some people, abundance is like having enough time in the day to like just spend time in their garden and like be able to be out in nature and like go for walks and like smell the roses and just, you know, like kind of downscale their life and not have to work so hard. You know, we see this figure here on this card sitting on the beach and reading a book. It's like, maybe for some of you, it's like, I don't necessarily want to have like millions of pounds or whatever, or millions of dollars, but I want to have enough time to like, you know, watch the sunset and like read my book when I want to, and not be just busting a gut to like, you know, make coin kind of thing, or like survive or something. So I feel like with this card, this healing card, we've got this sort of very winter imagery where there's not a lot of growth on the tree. So I feel like maybe some of you have been through that whilst you were going through your healing process. It was quite a sort of winter period in your life in terms of growth, in terms of abundance. Maybe some of you might have been through a bit of a struggle financially, or just kind of, you know, in a winter phase, so kind of maybe in hermit mode. You know, we see this figure just working alone, and, you know, it's snowing and everything. So I just think that like you're definitely going through some kind of upgrade, whatever you've had to sacrifice whilst you were learning and whilst you were healing. Now you're going to have this brand new beginning and all this like beautiful sunny energy, all this growth in your life in regard to any aspect of abundance that you are seeking. So beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay, so let's finish up with a Spirit Junkie card. So we have final guidance for pile 1. Woo! Oh my gosh, I love this. Taking care of myself is a radical act of love. Yes, I feel like this is confirming the same message with the sacred waters, with nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care. So yeah, definitely making sure you're taking care of yourself, especially as healers, right? Or as empaths, or when you're on this temple path and you're creating some sort of support for others, especially if you're something like a counselor or something like that, or maybe in the past you got really burnt out and then you've had to learn a lot of self-care. Maybe your healing has been around like healing your body through burnout or something along those lines. And so this is super highlighted for you. We've got a double message about self-care and self-love and taking care of yourself. And that can be different. It can be health-wise, it can be financially, making sure that you're supporting yourself financially. It can be emotionally, it's not just like taking a bubble bath as is often sort of portrayed in some sort of like, occasionally, you'll see those kind of things on social media about like take a bubble bath, but that, I feel like for you, that it's beyond that type of thing. Like, not to knock that, I love baths myself, and that is, we've got sacred waters here, so maybe a bath is called for actually, but I feel like it's deeper and it's more to do with like taking care of your energy, taking care of your body, taking care of your health, making sure you're eating really well, all those kind of things. So again, I sort of feel like I get a vibe of someone who has had to learn how to do this, and then this is something that maybe you are sharing with others. That's part of your wisdom, is to share a lot around self-care and self-love or something like that. So that could be something. Let's get one more message for you. Wow, another kind of health related one. I cherish every cell in my body. Yeah, so I think this has definitely been a lot around your healing with that Witch of the Winter Woods and the sort of cauldron here, and like possibly making things and then taking care of yourself, cherishing every cell in your body. So there's a lot around like making sure you're honoring your body as like the temple that carries your soul, and doing anything you can to support your health and cherish all your cells. Chakra healing, I feel like with these sort of rainbow colors here, could be very helpful for you. And just showing yourself a lot of self-love, a lot of self-care. Doing anything you can to refresh the energy in your cells. So like I'm hearing eating celery, actually. Specifically, celery is really good for like clearing out your cells, your cellular energy. And any kind of clear quartz crystals as well could be really helpful as well for this. Okay, my lovely Power Ones, I feel like that is all the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope this reading resonated. Leave a comment below if it did. I would love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell me which content is resonating for you at the moment. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to be part of the community. It really helps me know who is here when I am preparing the readings. I call on the energy of all my subscribers. So join the community. And hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pal number 2. Welcome to your reading on You Are Being Called to Shine, your Lionsgate portal. So if you chose the Amaterasu with the sun, good fortune, and happiness, and we've got the sunstone crystal here, this will be your reading. So I feel like straight off the bat, I am getting the energy that the rebirth that you will be having as a result of this Lionsgate portal is into a period of time where you are going to start seeing so much good fortune. You are going to feel so much happier in yourself. I feel like all the sort of abundance and blessings that you get from that kind of sun energy, like, a lot of warmth. You're going to be having a lot of like optimistic, lovely experiences, particularly like with other people. I feel like you're going to be coming into an energy of really connecting with your inner child and expressing yourself from that point of like, your authentic inner child self and just having so much more fun, drawing in so many more like happy experiences, feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin and shining your own light and the truth of who you really are, which is so wonderful. So let's have a look at your cards. So we'll move this over here. Okay, let's move away the citrine from previous pile. Okay, let's have a look. So we have got the call of the siren, sexuality. Woo, yeah, fiery energy. I love this. I feel like I said, you're going to be calling in all these amazing experiences. So I feel like your energy is going to be a bit like this kind of siren energy where you're just like magnetizing and attracting in wonderful experiences, like very passionate experiences. So, you know, this could look like if you're wanting a new relationship, or you're wanting to kind of spice up an existing relationship, or you're wanting to connect with people. I feel like you're going to go through a period of having this very happy, very sensual, very joyful, very just like really warm vibes is what I'm getting. Like very I'm kind of getting very sacral chakra energy, which, even though we're talking about the sun, which is normally related to the solar plexus, with this particular sunstone, it's quite an orangey sunstone, which is linked with the sacral chakra, which is all about like sexuality, sensuality, you know, your fire, your passion, your, you know, tapping into that spark, that joie de vivre, or that like zest for life. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. So I feel like this is very exciting energy that's coming in. Yeah, I just feel like you're going to be very magnetic. You're going to be able to like magnetize in good experiences to you. You can see this mermaid, she's just like kind of sitting on the rock. Like she's not going out into the ocean like trying to make something happen. She's just kind of sitting there in this very like magnetic feminine energy and attracting things to her. Like, you know, that is very much that siren energy. It's like alluring. So I feel like you're going to go through a period of being very alluring. Let's see, what else have we got? Phoenix, card number 9. How's that for a happily ever after? Beautiful. So I feel like maybe for some of you, you might have gone through a difficult period, like something might have had to kind of burn down recently, especially, you know, if you're drawn to a rebirth reading, you may well have gone through a bit of a death process prior to this. So you may well have had something close out in your life, you know, that could have been a relationship, or it could have been a job, or something that was like built on a false foundation that had to like be burned down. I'm sort of getting like tower energy vibes for those of you that know tarot. But I feel like you've had to go through a period of, I'm getting with the number 9 here, this is often linked with like independence. You know, it makes me think of like the 9 of Pentacles or the 9 of Cups, like being okay, standing on your 2 feet, you know, being on your own, being comfortable in your own skin, you know. But I feel like with the Phoenix, it's like whatever sort of burned away in your life, it's like you're gonna rebirth out of that. Like literally, Phoenix is rebirth energy. You know, you're gonna rise up from the ashes of whatever has had to burn down, and be so much stronger and more vibrant and beautiful. And like, you know, we've got this orange energy. She's got this red hair. So some of you may be you might be redheads, or just, you know, it could be a time of really tapping into that like fiery energy within yourself, that feisty energy within yourself. You know, we've got sort of a lot of like, you know, with sexuality there as well. I'm getting this sort of, yeah, fiery, feisty, you know, coming back into like connection with your passions, with like, you know, kind of opening your arms out to life again. And saying like, yeah, like what is available to me? Like what do I want? What do I want to receive? What do I want to be open to now? And I feel like it's a new chapter. It's a time of a new chapter. We've got like, with this book, there's like previous chapters, but then with this one, it says once upon a time. It's like you're starting a whole new book. You're starting a whole new story, a whole new chapter. This is all about you and you being open to this, like rising up to something so much better. Let's have a look at your other cards. So we have got next, we've got walking away. Yes. Yeah. I feel like you have had to walk away from something, whatever this thing was that burned down, whatever this tower moment was. Like you're done with that. You're leaving it behind. You're walking away. With the 27 there, some of you might be 27. So you may be going through a bit of a Saturn return at the moment. It doesn't sort of tend to happen until you're about 29, but you can start to feel the effects of it around the age of 27, 28. So it can start to create some like fairly strong like a push in your life to go in a different direction. So often it could mean anything foundational that you've had previously that you've been holding on to, like a job or a relationship or something like that, that's really not aligned with your future and where you're going. It's like you're walking away from that. I also see with this card, this can speak of like going traveling or something, like leaving behind a home or a place that you've been living in and going traveling. We've got these spring blossoms here, so maybe spring might be a time when you do that, or it might be that you're just, you know, coming into a spring phase in your life, like after this sort of, you know, things being burned down and like going through a bit of a walking away from something and like the loss of something or some kind of foundation being torn away. You know, you're going to go through this rebirth, this regeneration, this phoenix rising, and this new sort of spring energy. So new growth is going to come into your life as a result of what you've had to walk away from. So love that energy for you, part 2. We have got diligence. Yeah, and with this bird flying and walking away, I do feel like maybe you're moving somewhere, you're leaving something behind and traveling to somewhere else, whether that's literal traveling, like you may be going traveling, you may be crossing, like I kind of, this is just giving me like airplane vibes, like being in a plane and looking out and seeing, you know, the clouds and the fields below. So maybe some of you are going, like moving to a different state or a different continent or something like that, or just more energetically, if you're not moving or traveling, it's that you are doing so in terms of like you're shifting a lot within your own life, like within yourself, like you're coming into a period, I feel like, of, with that diligence energy, it's like you're going to be so much more focused on yourself and so much more like clear about your direction and where you want to go. I feel like maybe with all that cloud there, and it sort of looks like the cloud is kind of dispersing so that you can kind of see which way you're flying. And we've got with this card as well, there's like a lot of sort of the final stages of a fire. It's like the ashes are kind of just smoldering, and there's a bit of like kind of cloudiness. So there's maybe been some confusion, some fogginess, some cloudiness, some things that have been kind of in the way of you being able to see clearly what you want to focus on. But I feel like that is clearing now, particularly as a result of maybe walking away from something or leaving something behind or something being pulled away from you. And now you're going to see so much more clearly and be able to take like diligent, focused effort towards moving towards what you actually want to go towards. So it's amazing energy. And finally, we have for the oracle portion of your reading, we've got lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this, soul call and gather. Yeah, so I feel like if you have been through a bit of a tower moment, I feel like that could well have been a bit of a goddess Kali energy coming in. I always think of Kali associated with the tower energy of like pulling away false foundations, and at the time it can feel very brutal and it can feel very like, hey, I was like, I built a lot of my life around that, or like I was really attached to that thing or that person or that story or that job or, you know, whatever it might be. And Kali is an energy of like, she will give you the most radical kick up the pants or you know, really pull that carpet out, that proverbial carpet out from under our feet, or the proverbial rug out from under our feet, in order to help us to grow and align with what is most meant for us. So it's always like actually the most radical loving act. And I feel like you have been very much protected by the goddess and moved out of something that wasn't meant for you. Something had to burn away so that you could rise up so much stronger and align with something that is really meant to you, align with something that you're really passionate about. With that like sexuality energy, I'm just getting, you know, like it's just an energy of passion, right? You know, so even if it isn't to do with like manifesting, you know, a romantic partner or anything specifically, it's just that energy of like feeling lit up by life again, like finding your inner sun, finding your inner happiness, finding your, like I said, your joie de vivre, your passion for living, your passion for life. I'm just getting, I'm just seeing, what is that movie? What is that movie where he says something about like your passion for living? Oh my goodness, it's going to really bum me now. One sec, I'm going to look it up. Sorry about that, part two. I finally figured out where that film quote was from. The where it's the guy saying something about like your passion for living, and it's Rhett, played by Clark Gable in Gone with the Wind. So for some reason that came through. So that might be a sign for someone if you love that film or you love that character, or if or maybe it's a sign to watch that film or something like that. But if you hate the film, then just take that as like it's not a sign for you. Okay, so don't say in the comments like that movie is ridiculous and like it's been cancelled and blah blah. I know, but just for some reason that is a sign for someone. So okay, so where was I? Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul called Gather. So yeah, I feel like you have been moved out of a situation that wasn't meant for you. You've been moved by the goddess to something that is really meant for your soul. I feel like with that gather and what I was saying about earlier with having that magnetic energy to like attract people to you, I feel like you're going to magnetize your soul tribe towards you. You're going to magnetize experiences towards you that are going to help you really feel comfortable in your own skin and be your authentic self and be like your passionate self, like the things that you're passionate about. Like they're no accident, you know, like if you're passionate about certain things, if you feel fired up about certain things, you're going to be moved to the right people to connect with so that you can feel like you can do those things around those people, or you can be your true self, you know, you can enjoy the same sort of hobbies or passions or whatever it is. So yeah, I feel like it's like with this rose, it's kind of just opening up. So you're really blossoming into this new phase. And we spoke of the blossoms there as well with walking away. So there's definitely this fresh new spring opening up, blossoming energy that you are stepping into. So I love this for you, pile number 2. So let's move on to the tarot portion of your reading. Okay, so we have got Ace of Wands. I only take reversals if I'm guided. So in this case, this is coming out in the upright. So loving this energy for you. We've got this new beginning. And I feel like with all these different things, it's like there's a book, there's like a map, there's music, there's painting, there's like little buds from like a tree. So I feel like you're going into this new phase, this new spring, this new beginning where you are going to be able to tap into whatever it is that you're passionate about. You're going to be able to start spending more time on things that you love to do, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking, whether it's traveling with that map there. You know, I definitely got a strong travel vibe with the walking away, the diligence card with that bird flying somewhere. So maybe some of you, yeah, you're going to start traveling again, or go on a trip, go on some vacation, something like that. But it's just, yeah, we've got this fiery energy coming through again. So tapping into like what fires you up, what do you love doing, what brings you joy, what makes you feel great, you know. And again, we've got this orangey color coming through. So sacral chakra is really highlighted. So maybe doing some sacral chakra healing, especially like the sunstone or orange colored crystals. I'm hearing carnelian could be really useful for you at this time to help you reconnect with what you are passionate about. Let's just move that down a little bit. Okay. Then we have Queen of Pentacles. Woo, yeah. So I feel like this is kind of confirming that whatever you start, this new journey, this new project, this new beginning in whatever it is, whether it's writing a book, whether it's you know, painting something or getting back into something artistic or creative again, this is going to be something that is going to make you very financially successful or bring you a lot of abundance that you can harvest. We've got all this like grapes here and peach trees. So it's gonna be something that, you know, you can actually reap some abundance from in some way. It may not be straight away, but I feel like eventually that is the point that you are going to get to, where you can really be, you know, really comfortable and confident in yourself. She's wearing this gold dress, so it's like really shining your light, really putting your work out there, whatever that is, or your creative stuff out there. It's going to be something that's going to bring you a lot of success, a lot of security, a lot of stability. A great lifestyle is what I'm hearing. So like, you know, if it's wanting to be able to just spend more time outside in your garden, or like, you know, just have a bit more of a like good work-life balance, that kind of thing. I feel like that's something that you are working towards, and that this new beginning is going to lead to this. Next, we've got, woo, yeah, King of Wands. Yes, I'm definitely getting, again, strong travel vibes. This is coming out under walking away and diligence. As I spoke about the moving or traveling somewhere, we've got this king pointing to a globe here. So I feel like this is you stepping into this energy of like, okay, where in the world do I want to go next? Like, where do I want to expand to? Or like, you know, say if you're starting a new business or something, it's like, where do I want to spread this business to? Or like, you know, where do I want to travel to? Where do I want to connect with clients? Or, you know, if it's just a creative project, it might be like, you know, where am I going to say exhibit or something like that? Or where am I going to, kind of meet new people that might inspire a new idea. If you're a writer or something, it might be like, okay, I'm going to go traveling to, you know, America or something, or to South America or wherever, somewhere else, and then like write about that experience or something along those lines. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of like planning, figuring out like, you know, where you might want to expand your horizons a bit. And also this could be sometimes with the globe here, this can speak of like the World Wide Web or going online. So maybe for some of you, you're going to put this creative work online in some way so that it's available globally. So it might not be something that you just do on a one-to-one basis. It's something that you can offer essentially to the world. And that's going to be something that's going to bring you a lot of like stability and security. And finally, we've got Page of Pentacles. Again, I'm getting the vibe of some of you are like looking at leaving home. We've got in this particular deck, with this particular Page of Pentacles, he's left his home behind. He's a little bit further up the road and he's at a bit of a crossroads. He's got the map out. So again, we've got a map, we've got a globe, we've got flight here. So a lot around travel, a lot highlighted here around travel. So your rebirth may well be looking at moving to another country, looking at traveling abroad, or just expanding your horizons, you know, maybe getting out of your comfort zone a bit, trying some new things, leaving the confines of your home, or, you know, things that you've previously been doing. Maybe some kind of foundation has been taken away from you so that you can try something new. So, you know, that could just be traveling within your own hometown a little bit, or home country. But for some of you, I feel like this is kind of moving further abroad, and you're kind of figuring out, you're looking at the map being like, okay, this is where I want to go. If it's not specifically travel, then it's just like I said, it's like you're expanding your horizons, you're making plans, you're figuring out like, okay, what, you know, maybe you're at a crossroads in terms of work. Like I could go and do this job that's like in the city that's going to earn a lot more money, or I could like go and do this other role that's like working from home and allows me to like have more work-life balance or something like that. You know, it's like you're at some kind of crossroads and you're kind of like, almost like you've got this quite happy-go-lucky energy where you're tossing a coin in the air, like, what should I do? Like, what's going to bring me the most joy? What's going to make me the most happy? What am I most passionate about? Again, we've got the color orange here. There's just a lot of orange in your reading with, you know, your main card, the Amaterasu card, the orange here, the orange here, the orange hair on her head, and that card as well. So yeah, there's just a lot around like that sacral chakra energy, your creative energy, harnessing your creative energy, harnessing what you're passionate about. I felt like with pile number one, that was more sort of my like spiritual healers, things like that. And it's not to say you don't have that energy, but I'm definitely picking up more of a like creative vibe, even though, you know, almost any field, or pretty much virtually any field you do, is going to involve some form of creativity. But I feel like you, for pile number two, you have very strong creative energy, and you're meant to do something related to some kind of creative pursuit. That is going to be something that's going to bring you a lot of money. It's going to be something that, you know, you can then travel with. So maybe if you're wanting to have a sort of laptop lifestyle type thing, or like digital nomad, or, you know, that type of thing where you can like come and go as you want, you know, you can have location independence, you can work from anywhere in the world and then earn money by putting this creative work online. That's something that you're going to be able to do. But it's very much like you're maybe at this point now where you're like, okay, well, I could either stay in this job, or like this sort of path that tied me to a particular place, or I could like leave and do this work that's online that allows me to have so much more location independence and be like free to just go in whichever direction I choose at any which time. So I feel like that's something that you're working towards, and it's something that you're going to be, it's like moving towards something you're very passionate about and very inspired by, and it fires you up. It's very like, yeah, passionate energy is what I'm getting. So love that, Jenny, for you, pal, too. Let's see. I'm going to finish up with a Spirit Junkie guidance. So, Spirit, can we have some guidance for pal 2? Can we have some guidance for pal 2? Final guidance for pal 2. They're not flying out as much as they were earlier. Well, there we go. Wow. Okay, we got 2. So I can forgive people quickly, release my resentment, and set myself free. Yeah, so for those of you that might have been, you know, really hurt by something, whether it's someone in your family or a past relationship that kind of you got a bit burned by, or like that, you know, got pulled away from you. I feel like a process of forgiveness will help. It's not to like say, oh, I forgive because what you did was okay. It's to forgive so that you are giving yourself that gift so that you can release that resentment and set yourself free. Like it's going to free you by not holding on to all of that or holding on to those situations or those people or resentment towards them. It's like that frees you to then like have so much more energy to go after the things you're passionate about and go towards the places that you want to go towards. We've got 2 birds here, so there's a lot around like movement and, you know, possibly traveling, like I said, or like, you know, having freedom. You know, birds symbolize freedom, having the freedom to move where you want. So I feel like you are setting yourself free. You are giving yourself that gift of freedom through forgiving the past, forgiving, you know, these situations that might have burned you. And then we have, when I lead from a place of love, people respect me. Wow. Yeah. So maybe for some of you, this is something where whichever pursuit you are going to put out, like I don't necessarily see that some of you might be running a business, particularly like if you are doing it online, you could be leading or teaching or something, or setting an example for people, like just, you know, maybe an example of putting something online. You know, you could be, I'm hearing like a thought leader. You could be some kind of thought leader. So you're not necessarily running a huge business with loads of people like underneath you in a traditional business that's like tied to a place, but just by like leading on, you know, in terms of on your platform or whatever creative work that you put out there, it's like when you're doing it from love, when you're doing it from what you're passionate about, when you're doing it when you feel filled up and inspired and wanting to just share something that you're really enthusiastic about, people really respect that. Like people will respond to that energy. So I'm hearing like, even if you don't feel super confident at the beginning, like even if you're just starting out, because with that like spring energy and the new beginning, you might be sort of new to doing this field, or it might be that you've been doing it for a while, but you're new to like starting to make money from it, or new to putting it out in the world or out online or something like that. But like if you really do it from love and you do it with an enthusiastic attitude, people respond to that more than necessarily having like bucket loads of like cocky confidence or whatever, you know, like you don't necessarily have to like be super confident right off the bat. Like that will grow with time, but by connecting with something that you're really passionate about, connecting with, you know, something that you genuinely love to do, that will shine out. Like that will just magnetize people. Like we spoke about with that siren, it's like your enthusiasm for your subject or for your mode of expression will absolutely shine out and magnetize and it will lure in either the clients or the support or the followers, or, you know, whatever it is that you want, the visitors. If it's like, you know, you're an artist or something and you're going to be exhibiting in a gallery or something, or, you know, if it's in the case of like a business, it'll attract the clients you need. I'm hearing someone might be starting like an Etsy shop and putting like homemade jewelry. That's very specific, so that might just be for one of you. But you know, whatever it is that you are creating, whatever it is that you are passionate about, that you love to do, that lights you up, that you just can't not do. When you're sort of putting that out in the world from a place of like enthusiasm and confidence, enthusiasm and joy and love for your subject, that will be the thing that transmits to people. And then you'll get good feedback, and in turn that will give you the confidence to kind of keep going, is what I'm hearing. Okay, my lovely pile number 2s, that is all the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Leave me a comment below if it resonated. I always love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit the like button. It helps tell me which content is resonating, and it helps the YouTube algorithm to send the video around, which helps my channel grow. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of the Els Temple community, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. All the best with your Lionsgate portal, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose the Goddess Sekhmet with strength and self-awareness and the Tiger's Eye crystal, then this will be your reading on You Are Being Called to Shine, your Lionsgate Rebirth. So pile number 3, straight off the bat, I feel like you are definitely going through quite a strong rebirth with this like serpent here on the top of her head. I feel like you've gone through some sort of like death and rebirth process, or like forging your own identity, like finding your strength, becoming very aware of who you really are. You've had to like let go or shed an old identity in the way that like a snake will just shed its skin, and underneath it's like this completely new snake. So I feel like that's kind of a process that you've been going through, or a process that you're in the midst of right now through this Lionsgate portal. And it's going to bring you a lot of strength. It's going to make you really strong in who you are. You're going to have much stronger energetic boundaries, or you're going to be much stronger in setting healthy energetic boundaries so people can't take your power. Because Sekhmet is very much like, if you think of that like lion or tiger energy, and we had the tiger's eye as your crystal, you know, it's a very fierce energy. It's very powerful. It's very like, you know, it's sort of the king of the jungle. I'm hearing like you may be being called to step into a position of like leadership in some sense, you know, if not directly in terms of being like a manager or like in a traditional sort of hierarchical business. This might be just more of like becoming a spiritual leader in some way, or leading within a community, or leading within a family unit, or, you know, just really stepping into your power, stepping into your strength, owning your power, becoming very clear on who you really are is what I'm getting. And Tiger's Eye crystal could be very helpful for this. It brings you a lot of like, Tiger's Eye can help you to really stay strong in who you really are, have really strong boundaries, feel very motivated, have that like fierce energy to kind of like see a target and go after it, essentially have that confidence to go after what you want. So yeah, that could be a very powerful crystal for you. Just move the sunstone away. So let's get into your reading. Okay. So we have got, to begin with, villain, you can always rewrite the story. Yes, so straight off the bat with all this blue energy, this is connected with the throat chakra, which is all about your authenticity and knowing your truth and being able to speak and express your authentic truth. So I definitely feel like with self-awareness and then all this blue color here, there's something around really becoming clear on who you truly are, becoming clear on your own truth, and being able to like stand in your own story, rewrite your story. So if someone else has been trying to control you, or you've had some conditioning from the past that has been like dictating your story or dictating the truth of who you were up until this point. I feel like, you know, you're kind of breaking that now. You can see she's got this huge stone, she's lifting it up, she's about to throw it on this other shell here, which I feel like is kind of like what I was saying about the snake was shedding the skin. It's like you've been maybe kept inside some kind of shell. You've had this like hard shell around you or skin around you that's like not the truth of who you really are. And part of this Lionsgate portal is letting go of all of that and like becoming true to yourself. We've also got the color yellow here, which is linked with the solar plexus, which is all about standing in your, or being confident to stand in the truth of who you are, being confident to shine your light, being confident to be yourself, being confident to like having a lot of like self-esteem, all that kind of thing. So that is something that you're working through, I feel like, through this Lionsgate portal, and particularly with the full moon here. The full moon, we've just had a full moon in Aquarius at the time of recording. So depending on when you're watching this reading, the full moon might well have brought up a lot of blocks around anything related to your solar plexus and standing in your power, being yourself, anything related to your soul, anything related to your throat chakra and expressing your true self, you know, owning your story, writing your own story, and letting go of anyone who's tried to like control you in the past. Like just doing, I'm seeing with all the water energy, possibly doing a purge, releasing any energy that, you know, any emotions that have been tied to like any sort of negative energy in your life that's been trying to control your story up to this point. But you are taking that control back, I see here. With the number 38, some of you could be 38, or this could just be, you know, a sign that you're aligning with your path, because in numerology, 38 reduces to 11, which is all about alignment. So I feel like, you know, you're realigning with the truth of who you are. You're realigning with your story and where you're meant to go. And this is a very powerful portal for you to become really aware of your own self and your own story, and take the reins of that and direct it in the direction that you want to go in. So loving this for you. So let's see what else we have. We've got 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, card number 41. So yeah, this is the crown chakra. So definitely some crown chakra awakening could be happening for you through this portal. You know, having downloads from your higher self, connecting with the truth of your higher self, the truth of your soul. Also, I'm seeing like with this book, I'm getting like, yeah, the Akashic Records. So I actually have an Akashic Records reading on this channel that I did a couple of weeks ago, I think. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Or just, you know, maybe you might want to look into having an Akashic Records reading. This is something you can even do for yourself if you're feeling comfortable with that. You can there's various resources on the internet to be able to connect with the energy of the Akashic Records. Or just more generally, like opening up your crown chakra in order to receive the downloads from like your higher self, essentially. The wisdom that you need from your higher self in order to connect with like the story that you are meant to align with at this time. Next, we have patience, and we've got this crane here. So yeah, I feel like this process is going to take a little bit of time. So patience is highlighted here as you go through this like crown chakra awakening or the spiritual awakening. And we're seeing the number 38 here and the number 41 here. So this could be like the ages that this process happens through. So you might be around 38 now, and it might take until you're around 41 for this whole process of like coming into the strength and power of who you really are to happen. It doesn't have to be. That could just be for some of you if you resonate with those ages or something, or it could just be a progression of time that might take like say 2 to 3 years or something to really unfold the truth of who you are, to really let go of this past storyline or this villain, this negative energy that might have been in your life. You know, reconnect with the truth of your soul, reconnect with like your higher self, receive the spiritual downloads that you need. It may just require a little bit of patience to like get to the point of feeling really, really strong and very, very like completely unshakable, you know, as fierce as a lion, like unable to be kind of controlled or persuaded or manipulated, or have other people try to take your energy. This process may just take a little bit of time. It's not necessarily going to take 3 years for all of you. For some of you, I'm seeing a spectrum, so some of you may be a bit further along in that. Maybe if you are 41, this could be happening now. You could be already at the end stages of that process. For others of you, it might be just happening. You might be still going through it. So let's see what else we have. Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. This is such beautiful card. I'll just make sure the camera's focused properly so you can see the artwork. Yeah, you can hopefully you can see okay this woman, this figure's got her arms up by her like crown, or up by her, sort of above her third eye, receiving, and it looks like she's receiving downloads. So I feel like you are going to get a lot of downloads into like why things happened in your life the way they did, any illusions that you've been living under with that full moon. The full moon can speak of like illusions or things not being clear. So maybe things, you might have had, possibly you may have experienced some kind of gaslighting in the past, or some kind of other person trying to control your reality, or trying to sort of manipulate you to live the story that they wanted you to. Maybe not out of any sense of malicious intent, but just because that's what they've learned to do, and as a result they've passed that down to you or something. But I feel like what I'm hearing is you are a generational curse breaker. So or like generational trauma healer. So you're going to be healing like a lineage that might have gone through, generation after generation of being controlled by someone, and then you're the first one to like break that curse or break that lineage, and like find your true soul, awaken spiritually, awaken to your higher self, go through this sort of crown chakra awakening, so you can receive downloads, and so that potentially you can be a channel of some sort. So it may be that you do something like this, like you divinate, you are a channel for humanity, you channel guidance, eventually possibly for other people as well. So initially maybe for yourself, and then you're able to do that for others as you work with your gift. Maybe some of you already do that, in fact. Or it could be that with that creativity, ideas, inspiration, artists, writers, some of you may end up like, you awaken to your higher self and you receive all these ideas. It's just a very like creative energy. You're able to draw down like the most amazing ideas to like write a book, or like, it's kind of like, I just see you being very connected with the muse. So you're able to like just channel, like remote channel, like a whole idea for like, I'm hearing like a play or a book, or a film even, or some sort of creative pursuit, something where you're sort of channeling ideas and inspiration down, and then bringing them down into like the 3D kind of thing. So this might just be a process that does require a little bit of a patience, but I feel like eventually you are going to soar, you are going to fly, you are going to have that freedom to like, go towards like whatever your higher self is guiding you to do, to trust your intuition, to trust the wisdom and the downloads that you're receiving. So let's have a look. We've got to finish. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so beautifully connected with the creativity card, because we've got Weaver of the Web of Life and Cooperation. And this card is all about like, weaving together creative ideas, weaving together strands of different things. So maybe some of you are going to create some whole new like modality of something, or you might be some kind of artist who just weaves together a lot of ideas, or you write something that draws on a lot of ideas from a lot of different like cultures, for example, or from a lot of different disciplines. It could be like a very cross-disciplinary approach to something, or drawing on, like maybe some of you are creating some kind of healing process or something that like I'm hearing like some of you might be doing some kind of psychoanalysis with that, like rewriting the story. That's often something that one does during therapy, right? So some of you might have gone through some kind of psychoanalysis, and then you you're learning to like reintegrate and weave together sort of different aspects of your life that maybe were cut off from you, or maybe that's something that like you've gone through that process and then you're training in this, and then you're going to weave together lots of different like aspects of therapies, different healing modalities, different like I'm hearing like Jungian psychoanalysis with like shamanic stuff, with like like psychic or like mythical things. So wow, really extremely varied. Comment below if this is resonating at all. That might be very specific and for like one person, but hopefully you get the idea that this is about like, you know, finding ways to bridge different ideas and finding ways to like weave it all together, weave different strands of things together, whether it's through a book, whether it's through some healing modality, whether it's through a piece of artwork, whether it's like maybe some of you creating oracle cards or something like that. I'm seeing someone like making cards like this. But you're going to be waking up to a lot of ideas once you've let go of your past and like you've taken control of your own narrative and you've awoken to and connected with your higher self and receiving and trusting the downloads that you're getting from your higher self and being very patient with that process. You're then going to be able to weave all these amazing ideas and inspiration together. And I feel like you're someone who you have this very like feminine energy where it's more about like collaboration and cooperation with people than competition. Like you're not out to like get back at someone. Like if there was a villain in your past in some way, like you're not out to get revenge or anything. You just want to like clear that karma. You want to sort of process that emotion. You want to take back your story, connect with your higher self, and then use that wisdom that you've gained to create something. You want to sort of get to a point where you're able to alchemize the things and experiences that you've been through and turn them into gold, turn them into like creative gold, like use them as creative inspiration for your creative projects, essentially. And possibly this could involve like a lot of cooperation with people. Like maybe, for example, say you decide to like write a play about some of your life experience or something like that. You know, you may well end up in like a theater cooperative or something where you work, you know, closely with the other actors and you take on, you know, some of their experiences and some of their ideas, and you kind of work in this very collaborative way to create this whole stage production or something like that. That's just an example, but you know, that might be for someone that some of you are doing something like that. But I feel like you have this very beautiful sharing energy, this very like cooperative energy where it's not about like being better than someone else or trying to compete with others. You just want to go your own way and like work with others to get lots of ideas. I'm kind of getting like sort of Gemini vibes. So some of you might be Gemini sun, moon, or rising, or have Gemini energy very strong in your chart, or you might have a lot of energy in your third house, or something like that, like which can often be to do with communication and writing, publishing, things like that. So this rebirth may well be connecting you with your muse very powerfully. So during this Lionsgate portal, you may well be getting a lot of downloads. You may well be getting a lot of ideas for things. And I would highly, highly encourage you to write those down, like, because it may not be something you do something with straight away, because with that patience card, I feel like this may take a little bit of time to gestate. But if you write down these ideas, they may well be something that you're able to like weave together with something else a little bit further down the line. And it could really lead to, I'm hearing like something really profound, or like your life's legacy, like your legacy work. Wow, it's really amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of getting a vibe of someone who may be a little bit older here. It doesn't have to be, you know, you can still be you know, say in your 20s or something and resonating with this now, and this might just take a bit of time to fully step onto this path. So it's not that this isn't going to happen until you're like 38. So don't worry if you are a bit younger. But I'm kind of getting a vibe of someone who has had a fair amount of life experience. You know, you've had to really work to find the strength of who you really are. And I do feel like some of you have gone through some sort of therapy to do that, or just, you know, school of life, right? You know, and you're really coming to this point of being a lot more like wise to who you really are, like a lot more self-aware, a lot more like clear on who you really are and what you want to leave, the legacy that you want to leave in the world. So let's have a look at your tarot cards now. So I'm just going to move these up, move them over so they're all in the shot, hopefully. Okay, so first up we've got death. Yes, yeah. I feel like that's something, some of you might be going through this right now, but some of you might have been through this process in the recent past where you've gone through a sort of death and rebirth, which, you know, might well be, if you're drawn to this Lionsgate reading about rebirth, you know, you've had to let something go. You've had to die to die to who you are, or who you were, an identity that wasn't really who you really were. You know, as I was speaking about with the serpent and with the I was saying something in this card about shedding like an old identity, letting go of something that isn't really who you are. And with that vulture on here, this is kind of, again, speaking of that process of alchemy, you know, the vulture doesn't actually kill things, but it comes down and removes the soul of the dead and transports them to the afterlife, so that it can like glean all the wisdom from that process. You know, it's a process of alchemy. So you've had to go through this dying to an old way of being, dying to an old identity, letting go of the past, letting go of, you know, who other people told you to be, taking your power back, taking control of your own narrative, taking control of your own story, being able to write your own story. Let's see, we've got Two of Swords with obsidian here. So yeah, this I feel like this sort of death process has forced you to really retreat and go within and trust your intuition on where you're being called to go. And yeah, I'm just noticing she's got a tattoo of a snake on her throat chakra. So yeah, there's like an identity that you're shedding, a death to this old way of being. You're letting go of that and you're waking up to trusting your intuition so that you can express the truth of really are. So you're learning to like go within and be like, okay, I'm feeling pulled towards this direction. Is that me? Is that the truth of myself or the truth of my intuition? Or is that like old conditioning or something that someone else has been telling me my whole life or something like that? It's like a process of like really digging deep to learn to trust yourself again and learn to trust your intuition and what it's telling you and what direction it's guiding you in. Next, we have 10 of Swords. Wow, yeah. So I do feel like some of you have been through something quite difficult. Like you're going through the ending of a cycle that could have been quite painful, where you could have definitely been, you know, experienced some kind of very negative energy in your life, some kind of villain in your life, someone who possibly betrayed you. Sometimes the 10 of Swords can speak of betrayal, you know, like this fish has been like, you know, it's kind of stabbed in the back energy, like someone who has just not had your best interests at heart is kind of what I'm seeing. Someone who maybe tried to control you, someone who wanted to use you for their benefit instead of like letting you be who you truly are. But this is why we've got Sekhmet here with this strength. It's like you're waking up to closing out this cycle and healing that so that you can be the strongest version of yourself so that you will never let anyone do that to you again. Like, you will have such strong, fierce boundaries that no one will be able to like hurt you in that way again. No one will be able to backstab you. No one will be able to betray you. Like, they might try, but you, like, your energy is just like, can you feel the energy from coming off from this card from Sekhmet? If you call on Sekhmet or you tap into the energy of Tiger's Eye, it's very protective, it's very fierce, it's very strong. It's like, it's definitely an energy that protects your boundaries, that protects your energetic boundaries, so no one will take your power away. It's very grounded energy. You know, like if you think of lions and tigers, like they're so alert and so like good at you know, like they're predators, right? Like they're not the prey. They can see, you know, they can sort of see what's ahead. They've got such good vision to be able to go after what they want. So I feel like you've had to go through some kind of difficult, painful loss, or you know, someone kind of really hurting you in some way, some sort of villain in your life, some sort of a like attack on your boundaries, or someone trying to control you, or someone or just very negative conditioning or heavy conditioning, and you're dying to that old way of being and rebirthing yourself as so much stronger and so much more powerful. So you're really closing out this cycle of whatever that pain was. And for some of you, this is more recent. This could be a very recent breakup, for example. And for others of you, this is old pain. This is an old cycle, but that has still been kind of in your energy. And you're letting that identity go. You're letting that person go. You're letting that pain go. And you're learning to trust yourself again. You're learning to go within and trust your intuition. And also with that, this card, she's wearing both white and black. So I feel like you're learning to balance things out again, so that I guess like you're able to protect yourself from the darkness, but it's not like the darkness has totally swallowed you up. It's like you're just more balanced in your approach to things. You're not necessarily, maybe for some of you, you might have gotten into, like, say, for example, perhaps an abusive relationship. And I'm so sorry if you have been in that situation. I have been there myself. I know how painful and difficult that is, and how much patience you need with yourself as you close out that cycle and heal that and rewrite your own story. But what I will say from my own experience is that the power and the strength that I gained as a result of like getting out of that situation and having to find my true self and like awaken to my higher self and learn to trust myself again, like, whoa, like that, you know, the strength and the power that I have as a result of having gone through that 10 of Swords is so much more than it would have been if I hadn't gone through it. You know, like I may have just never had the opportunity to really become as self-aware and as protective of my boundaries and as strong as I am now if I hadn't gone through that painful situation. So I do feel like this kind of happened for a reason, but there's a need to definitely be patient, to be really patient with yourself before you can like move on with your life. Essentially, there is a bit of a process of like alchemizing that situation, learning to trust yourself again. And finally, we've got, the Tower, definitely. So I feel like this is just confirming that whatever that situation was, whether it's a relationship, you know, a job, conditioning from the past, it's like that was a false foundation, or that was a false identity, or that was like false programming, or, you know, it's like that wasn't aligned with the truth of who you really are. That was not the foundation that you're meant to build the rest of your life on. You know, it was very, I feel like it was very dark. And I also feel like with this tower, it's like you were trapped inside. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's like a sort of old medieval tower. So it's almost like, I'm getting vibes of like Sleeping Beauty or Rapunzel or something like that. It's like you were trapped inside something. So it could have been trapped inside a very controlling relationship, excuse me, like controlling parents or a partner or something like that. Or even a job. It could have just felt like, you know, being trapped in this tower, going to whatever that job was or something like that. But it was essentially a false foundation that needed to come down. And I'm just seeing with all this, it's interesting in this particular tower card, the tower hasn't actually fallen, but there's all the lights are on inside, and there's like this spiritual energy, this like light energy that's coming through. So I feel like maybe some of you are still in this situation, but you're waking up to like your higher self, you're waking up to your intuition, you're waking up to the truth of who you really are. Like the lights are on now. Maybe before this villain or this negative situation was really controlling you, or really like kind of writing your story kind of thing and keeping you in the dark. But now it's like the lights are on. Like I'm hearing like before it was like the lights were on but nobody was home kind of thing. You know, like how they'll often say about like someone who's maybe a little bit away with the fairies or a bit vacant or something. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh my gosh, like pile number 3, were you just so away with the fairies that you just let someone come in? And no, not at all. I feel like this is this process of like energetic boundaries. And I know I keep banging on about boundaries, but I feel like that is super important for you and part of this rebirth and finding your strength again. Because like maybe before you were in a state of wanting to like people please, or you might have been a bit codependent, or you might have somehow unwittingly or unconsciously, because of childhood patterns or something, allowed yourself to get or ended up just getting really trapped in a situation. And it was kind of like you weren't in control of your energy. You didn't sort of have the energetic boundaries, so it allowed kind of negative energy, villainous sort of energy that didn't have your best interests at heart, to kind of come in and like try to control you in some way. So yeah, it's that foundation is falling away, that identity of who you were when you were in that situation. And I'm hoping you're not anymore, but for some of you this might be a gradual process of like letting go of this. It might be quite a deep process. It might be something that definitely does take, you know, it's not an instant thing, it's not an overnight thing, but like once you're able to do it, it's like you are going to have so much beauty in your life with this card, you know, this Mother Earth card. It's like you're going to be so much more grounded in who you really are. You're going to be so much more connected with your higher self to be able to receive the downloads that you need, the inspiration that you need. I feel like maybe for many of you, you might well end up like writing about your experiences in some way, because we also have the like rewrite the story and then write it on here. So even if it's just for yourself, you know, maybe it's just like a part of your healing process is to write your story from your own point of view, to empower yourself as part of your healing process, as part of like this process of taking back your power. Yep, I think that's all the messages I have. I'm going to finish up with a Spirit Junkie card. Spirit, can we have some final guidance for pile? Did that one? Yeah. Okay, I seek out happy people who inspire me to be great. Beautiful. Yeah, so I definitely feel like, you know, you are done with these sort of people who have betrayed you. You're done with people who are controlling of you. You're seeking out happy people now, people who are inspiring, you know. And even if you can't necessarily do that in person, I'm hearing like, you know, sometimes just seeking out people who, role models who are inspiring from like, you know, from literature, from the movies, from, you know, from culture, you know, someone like, I don't know, I'm hearing like Brene Brown, for example, or, you know, whoever it is, you know, just initially, if you don't have the right people around you to inspire you in terms of within your own circle, or you don't have the support that you need of people who are also doing amazing things that you want to do, then, especially if you're a writer, like maybe, what writers inspire you? Like I'm hearing like Cheryl Strayed, for example, who wrote Wild. These are quite specific examples. So like, don't take this too literally. I hope you get where I'm coming from. Like find who inspires you. It doesn't have to be those ones that I've said. If you've got personal issues around those people, don't worry about that. That just means it's not a message for you. Find the writers or the artists or the spiritual teachers or whatever who inspire you to be great, and like connect with their wisdom. Create a little altar where you put their story or their quotes or their book or their something on it, and you connect with that every day. And it gives you a sense of like encouragement and inspiration to keep going, especially if you are going through a bit of a dark night of the soul or a bit of a like healing process with all of this letting go of this old identity, especially if it is someone who has gone through similar things to you, like someone like Cheryl Strayed. She went through enormous amounts of childhood abuse and stuff, so someone who's maybe gone through similar difficult times, someone who's gone through a similar process of like maybe being in some kind of controlling situation or an abusive situation or whatever it might be, and they've managed to transcend that. They've managed to to grow despite the setbacks, despite the difficulties. And so, you can really draw on that energy and connect with that energy and use it to help inspire you as well. Let's see if there's any other messages for pile number 3 to finish. Any final guidance for pile 3? Woo! Yes. Oh, we've got 2. So I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. Yes. So definitely I feel like, we had solar plexus chakra healing as well as throat chakra healing. So that is, both of those chakras are connected with self-worth. Solar plexus, self-worth, self-esteem, being authentic to who you are, and throat chakra, being able to express your needs and ask for what you want, being able to speak up for yourself, being able to set healthy boundaries, being able to say no, being able to discern, what is good for your energy and what isn't, and then be able to kind of put those boundaries up and actually verbalize those. And also, this could be for some of you like, having the confidence to honor the direction that you want to go in, or if you are feeling called to kind of write or something like we had with that Mother Earth card, if you are feeling very inspired to do something creative, but that's maybe not something that you were encouraged to do, it's honoring that you are worthy as a soul on this earth to honor the wisdom and ideas that you're getting from your higher self and express those ideas, to put them out in the world. And finally, we've got all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. Yeah, this could be a very good mantra for you, especially if you've gone through something quite painful where you didn't maybe feel safe in some way, where maybe you were psychically attacked or abused, or emotionally, verbally, psychologically abused, or hopefully not, also none of those things, and also not physically abused, but just reaffirming that now as you are getting out of the situation, or if you're out of this situation, affirming that you are safe, that good will come out of it. You will be able to alchemize good things from this darkness, or from that like death process, from that letting go of this old hurt, this old pain, processing through that, and then knowing that good things will come out as a result, that you are deserving and worthy of all the good things that life has to provide you. Okay, my lovely pile 3s, that is all the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I just actually saw 46 on the clock, which in numerology adds up to 10. And as I said, 10 is the end of a cycle. So you're definitely ending a cycle and aligning with your true self. So all the best with that journey. Leave a comment below if this resonated. I would really love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell me which content is resonating for you at the moment. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the community and you would like to see more of my readings, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. All the best with your Lionsgate portal and your rebirth, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love.